Okay, so we have officially come to the end of the second section of aromatherapy as a lifestyle. Um, Yay. It's exciting, it's deep. From here on out, it just kind of levels off into just a lot more fun playing with ideas, recipes. I look forward to your ideas in the class with regards to what you're working with, what your thoughts are, and so on. I also appreciate very much your interaction with this last segment. Like I said, it's intense. It's a lot of information, and the entire point of the whole thing was really just to emphasize the fact that essential oils are incredibly powerful. Yes, there is evidence to back up their effects on the human body. There's more and more evidence. There's a lot of research going on, and we all have the opportunity to look into that. And at the same time, if we the way I see it, the more we seek to understand, the more there is for us to know. Okay, and I've learned this trap through all the research that I've done, and honestly, what you're getting here is a compilation of at least 5 to 7 years of devoted research, just this insane need to understand what the heck is going on. I don't like the fact that people don't feel good. I don't like the idea that we're seeing an increase in degenerative disease. I don't like the fact that I help somebody and they have the opposite reaction of what we were hoping for. So, in order to get to the understanding that I share here with you, I had to dig down and I follow this crazy trail of like ideas, and then I just start going. And anybody that's ever watched me will tell you that it becomes an endless pursuit of what's next, what's next, what's next. And so when I say the more we seek to understand, the more there is for us to know, there's I've lived it, and it's crazy making, and I hope that it wasn't too overwhelming for you, and that maybe we took it slow enough to where it could begin to digest some of what I'm saying. But the bottom line to all of it is that for as confusing as it is, if we can simplify, because there's so much information out there about what this product does for this, what this product does for that, and so on and so forth, right? We can hear about it all day long. And while we're targeting these specific symptoms and we're looking for the short-term effect, nothing wrong with it. We all deserve comfort. We all deserve to feel at ease in our body. It's ultimately number one, the long-term effect. So what are we ultimately doing by consistently targeting the those specific actions in the body, right? And there's also the whole component of, well, what happens if we just stabilize the body? And so that's really what the whole point of this is. Yes, the CYP450 enzymes are significant. Yes, we do see changes along those lines. Yes, and that's the reason why we talked about stress, because the stress, this is all stressful. Life is stressful, whether it's mental, emotional, physical, and it's specifically environmental. And all of these components do alter the way our genome works, the epigenome, the way it's activating and deactivating itself. And in the throes of that, we're going to see changes to the CYP450 enzymes. It's going to happen. Medications will cause that to happen. Herbs and oils will cause that to happen. Foods, if you look at the list, there's even foods listed on there, will cause these things to happen. So realizing that this is what's happening in our body, the whole point again is to really demonstrate the fact that this is a chemistry lab right here. That's what this is. It's a chemistry lab. It's the in vivo of the in vitro testing that's going on. But what's happening in your body is going to be different than what happens in my body. And when we recognize that and begin to select things that not just relieve symptoms, but provide stability, and the stability is really in the area. And don't believe I've said this so far. Stability really is in the area of how the systems function. It's not something that we feel. Now, I have actually talked about this in other videos on YouTube where I have people go, well, I stopped using it because I wasn't feeling anything. Well, just because you don't feel something doesn't mean it's not actually supporting your system. Okay, so stability really here means working with the lymph, working with the digestive system, supporting those systems to keep you clean and producing chemicals that help you to thrive. So again, nothing wrong with short-term relief, symptom relief, nothing wrong with that. It's what we're ultimately after, the long-term effect, which is stability and the body's potential to heal itself, to restore wellness. And so that's really the crux of this entire last segment. So if you can, in fact, develop methods for stabilizing your system, and again, it's the digestive and the lymph system are the two areas that I would target. You also want to stabilize, soothe the autonomic nervous system. And again, these are just mindfully choosing oils that promote that. And the more we can soothe the autonomic nervous system through intentional diet, through slowing down, the more we can move our lymph system. And again, all of this depends on what kind of medications you're taking, if you're taking any. To move the lymph system is going to be more of an effort if you are taking medications, because the oils that support the lymph, there's some concern there. So be mindful, okay? Be mindful. If there's something that you find that actually helps to move that, then that's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. And please let us know. And as well as the digestive system, and paying attention to, I don't want to say what's normal in the digestive system, because what's normal for one person isn't going to be normal for everybody. What you know, which is regular. And the truth is if we're going to look at the digestive system here, I want to emphasize the fact that digestion begins in the mouth and it ends at the cell level. Okay, it's not just the gut and the bowels and sometimes the liver. It's the whole thing. So supporting the liver, supporting your lymph system, and the liver involves the digestive system, identifying any sort of symptoms that you may have, okay? If you're holding a little extra weight, or if you're struggling to gain weight, okay, that it would be indicative of a thyroid issue. That would take me back to digestion. Okay, not that there's something wrong with your thyroid. It just tells me that your body's energy has diverted to the thyroid because of the activated autonomic nervous system, which means the acetylcholine is not being used in the digestive system. Therefore, there's a potential for dysbiosis in the bowels because acetylcholine is used in the production of hydrochloric acid. And then it also, and this is nitric oxide also is involved in this. So this tells me hormonal disruption, autonomic nervous disruption. Okay, so again, coming back to stability, choosing things that provide stability, that enhance the body's ability to digest the food from the moment it enters the mouth, right down to assimilating at the cell level. And so this is where the oils come in. All right, I realize there's an awful lot of products out there that actually have qualities to it that are based on the observation of plants and nature on the human body, such as brain permeability and blood vessel permeability and skin permeability and lung permeability. They understand all of that. So let me just review that. So they discovered this through cocaine, okay? And cocaine is not the only plant that has the alkaloids that will increase blood-brain barrier permeability. Okay, and what ultimately happens when the when the permeability factor is activated, this is called the platelet-derived factor. It begins to lay down new neural pathways and blood vessels for increasing tissue development. This is also where growth hormone comes in. This is when I was talking about there's a lot of hormones that we are unaware of that have they have a role in the body, and it's about surviving and protecting the body. And that's what platelet-derived factor is, as well as the growth hormone is used for many different things, muscle development, as well as accentuating the development of brain tissue and blood vessels, which takes me to the subgroup of hormones that creates a permeability in the blood vessels. This is the reason why varicose veins become thinner and thinner, and they ultimately end up bleeding out in ulcerations. There's a purpose to it. It's to lay down new blood vessels, but if it's a consistently activated hormone, it becomes over the top. Kind of like I was talking about Thujone, right? Thujone is neuroprotective and also neurotoxic. These hormones are meant for us to protect and survive, but they're also meant to be turned off. See, the body has that ability. That's what's really cool about this. Lung permeability, menthol. Menthol's a big one. So, kind of paying attention to those kinds of things. And the skin permeability, well, that comes in from the bisphenol. that they've isolated and putting in a lot of products. And there's a lot of other things they're putting in products. So that's the reason why we're going to jump into how to create products that are inexpensive, easy to make, and kind of keep us protected in a more well-rounded way by including the oils. And so it just kind of limits the amount of chemicals that we're exposed to. It's not 100%. Nothing's 100%, but it's just a whole other way of just really trying to assist our body, deepening our understanding of our body, and realizing the tools that we have available to us to serve and prevent the human body. And so that's what's exciting about this. And so if there's any takeaway from this last segment of CYP 450 enzymes, it would be just that we have the potential to really influence a healing response in our system if we just pay attention to what it actually needs and learning how to tune in and stabilize. And again, the systems we want to stabilize are the digestive and the lymph and the autonomic nervous system. The more you, and I mean, I know I mentioned a lot of other things in there, but the fact is the more we stabilize that digestive system and actually assist it with breaking down the macronutrients, which is where the autonomic nervous system comes in, because it's producing it's allowing the acetylcholine to be produce the hydrochloric acid, which now helps us. But the more and if we can't get there, we're not going to get there overnight. So there's things that we can do nutritionally by maybe taking a hydrochloric acid or a betaine supplement, which will enhance the macronutrient breakdown, and including the oils assists with the amino acid and the glucose appropriation. Hope that makes sense. Anyway, really happy that you're here. I can hardly I can hardly contain myself. I can't even speak right. And we're going to get into all the fun stuff. Personal care, minor emergencies, even emotional distress is another one on here. So sit tight. Let's have some fun with this. And please, by all means, keep bringing your questions, because I love, love, love supporting you in this, because this is just fun to team up with people who enjoy this as much as I do. All right. See you later.